situation with Carmelo Anthony and Lala and how they're separating due to him allegedly impregnating a stripper. I saw this post where somebody called the woman gutter trash. I was like, damn. We have this idea that strippers are kind of like the filth of society. And I wanted to address that. I take it personally because I used to be one. I think a lot of people feel as though, all strippers are, emotionally dead inside and that they didn't have a father and that they were all sexually abused and came from broken homes and barely made it through high school and they're probably single parents and their lives are dysfunctional. They're most of them are drug abusers and this is the stigma on exotic dancers, and it is utterly ridiculous. I'm trying to figure, how do we associate dancing nude to these types of negative stereotypes? I used to be a stripper. I was a stripper for about 6 or 7 years. I was a stripper here in Atlanta. I just did it because I was doing what a lot of 20 somethings do. You just live life, you have fun, you try to find the quickest way to make money, and that's what I chose to do. I don't come from a broken home. I come from my parents are still together. I had a very stable family life. I fit none of those stereotypes. And I am educated. I have 3 degrees, working on my 4th one. Many of the women that I met while dancing, they were just, just living their life and trying to find their way through life. It was just a job. It was like any other job you go to. It's work. I want people to understand being a stripper is not easy. It is a lot of hard work. You're on your feet in heels all night, and you are, pushed to have random conversations with men you will probably never see again. And they all expect certain things of you, and to have to fulfill all of those expectations, it can be quite overwhelming sometimes. You have to mentally prepare yourself to be the fantasy. What women need to understand is that men are not as easy as you think. Just because you got a fat ass and you got some titties and all that, you feel like that's enough. I could just reel him in. He good, right? And we have some girls like that who got, they got the titties and the ass or the body or the good pussy, and they feel like that's gonna help keep whatever you got going on with this brother. But this is not always the case. Men are not that easy. Even with the body that I had, which, at that time was the shit. Yeah, it's the shit now, as far as I'm concerned. I still had to work to get the money. I still had to put on the charm. I still had to have good conversation. I still had to be inviting and sumptuous and sexy. I still had to do all of that to get the money. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody will do it. And that, that's, we've seen that. But we have other women who tend to dog strippers out. I got more hate from women than I did from men. And of course they're gonna be like, of course you did, because the men, they want you. They looking at your body, they're sexually attracted to you. So of course they're not gonna hate on you. They want a chance to get to that pussy. But the women, my goodness, it's just almost like, like she a stripper girl, she nasty. Or, that automatically means I'm having sex with everybody. When I went to work, I did my table dance, went to the next person, or I might sit there and have some conversation, whatever. But it was not always I'm getting their phone number. They, a lot of times they would want mine, but most times a brother understand that I was at work and I'm really not trying to be in a relationship with you. I'm just trying to be the fantasy that you want, because that's the line of business that I'm in, to be your fantasy, and send you home possibly to your lover wanting her or whoever it is. Anyone who works in any adult entertainment space, you have to have a permit. Strippers, security, the bartender, the cook, the manager, everybody has to have a permit. Each city has a different price for how much the permit costs to work in a club in that city. So you have to pay to work in the club. You have to pay your fee to work in the club. So which is what they call a bar fee. I don't know if they call it any different now, but at that time it was called a bar fee. I go to the dressing room, and in the dressing room are all the other strippers with their makeup, flat irons, and hot curlers, that kind of stuff, right? And then there's the house mom. So the house mom is very similar to the young lady that you would see in the bathroom at the club. The young lady who has the brushes and all this other stuff to kind of help you tidy up your appearance while you're in the club, right? So the house mom has she serves that very same purpose. She keeps the locker room clean. She makes sure that everybody has everything they need, right? And we got to tip her. You got to tip the house mom every night. Not only have I paid my bar fee, I paid the house mom. Now when I do my set on the stage, which was always 3 songs, it was always 2 fast songs and 1 slow song, right? So if you really want your DJ to really encourage people to spend and throw some dollars up, he gonna throw you a fire set. Then you gotta tip the DJ. All right. So I had to do the door fee, tip the house mom, tip the DJ. You make your money for the night. When you come back, now you gotta tip the valet because he done went and parked your car, right? Because we never parked our own car at this particular club. It was all valet. It was pretty average to spend up to $100 just to work that night, just to work. That's the tips and all this kind of stuff, right? And so if it's a good night, you might leave with rent. I always had certain clients who came to see me specifically, not because we was having sex. I didn't do that. It was just because they liked talking with me. My customers were typically lawyers, doctors, very well established men. A lot of times it will be dope boys. There will be many of my clients or customers were men that had a fetish for dark-skinned women. I was one of the few dark-skinned women there. I think it may have been 2 or 3 dark-skinned women that were there regularly. I had my fair share of brothers that did not, even with my perky bosom and my ample bottom in my teeny little waist, because I was like 21. And even with all of that, I still had brothers tell me that they didn't want to see me dance because I was dark skinned. They were like, your body's the shit, but I just can't do it because you're dark skinned. I literally had dudes tell me that. My being a stripper is part of my journey into becoming a sexologist and I think that's why I feel like I know a lot about men. And, being a stripper was one of the main reasons why, till this day, no man in a high position or a position of authority is intimidating to me. Because when they all came into that club, everybody was there to see ass. Stripping life was fun. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of great people. There were times where I was totally disrespected because I was a stripper. Like, you do have some men out there that feel like they can totally disrespect you because you show your body for a living. So there were some instances where I was totally disrespected. Just because I'm a stripper does not mean that you have automatic consent to touch my body or to assume that I will consent to any type of sexual act or you can say anything lewd or perverse to me that I'm going to be okay with that. Doesn't mean that I still have my boundaries and I still want to be respected regardless of what my profession is. Even now as a sexologist, people assume they can say anything they want to you because you're a sexologist. I don't regret being a stripper. I don't regret having that life. I think it led me. I think it's part of that is what led me to where I am today as a sex educator. I think it gave me a bit more insight into people and how people are around nudity and how people are around things and in spaces that are sexual. It teaches you a lot. Stripping was fun. I don't care for it now. My dreams are much bigger than that.